Hello, Meg Miller, an Adult Services Librarian here at Pflugerville Public Library, bringing you our first Crafty at Home Cafe for April. So for this project, it's one I've been trying to schedule for a while. It seemed like a lot of fun. If you follow our Crafty at Home cafes, you know we tend to do about one painting project a month. So for this month, it is a swab painting. So cotton swabs, Q-tips, you may know them by, that kind of fun stuff. So for those first 40 folks who were able to sign up and register, you're going to be able to come and pick up your material supply kit. As always, I'm going to show you what we've got inside these kits. We hope if you weren't one of the folks who registered and picked up a supply kit, or if you're one of our friends from farther away, that you're able to find these materials and complete the craft on your own. So for our little bag here, we've got our small canvas, and then we have provided one flat bristle brush, and your paint pots this time you get the full 6. We have white, brown, and green. You've got a blue, and then you've got a pink and kind of a wine red. Additionally, in the bag, what you'll find is about 15 Q-tips or cotton swabs, and then a couple of rubber bands that we're going to use to bunch up our cotton swabs once we get the craft started. So now that we've got all of our supplies ready to go, let's get started crafting. All right, so we've got all of our supplies for our swab painting. We've got our paint colors here. We've got a brown and blue, or a brown and green and a blue for the sky and the grass and the tree. And then because these are springy trees, we've gone with kind of a wine colored red and a bright pink and then some white that you can add in. We've got our cotton swabs, some rubber bands so we can band those up, and a paintbrush. You have options, so I've got mine kind of portrait or landscape here. You could go portrait if you only wanted to do one kind of bigger tree. In my example, I did several trees and I really kind of like how this turned out. So I think I'm gonna do the same for this particular one. It lets me add more trees than one tree. So I'm going to protect my work surface a little bit. For this, I'm just going to use an extra piece of paper that I have laying around. If you've got newspaper or disposable tablecloth, anything that you can put down to kind of protect your work surface. Also, you'll want to make sure that your clothes, any clothes that you're wearing are some that you are willing to get paint on, or you have protected them as well. So I am going to just get started with doing flat brush. This won't be the swab portion of the painting project. I'm just going to add my sky color on. Kind of a good coverage but fairly light coat, as it will allow it to dry a lot faster. Got this bright blue for the sky. And if I have a few places where the canvas, the white of the canvas kind of comes through, I'm not too worried about that at this point, since I plan to add some white clouds later. Anyways, that white will just kind of give the sky a little bit more gradation in color as I go along. I'm just going to keep going down until I kind of decide where I want my land, my ground to sort of begin, where my horizon's going to be. Just kind of dry brushing across. So like I said, that our layer of blue is pretty thin and going to dry pretty fast. All right, I think that's about where we've got it. Alright, I think that looks pretty good for our horizon, gives us some good area for our land to be, so I'm just going to jump right into the green, across the bottom here. I know I didn't clean my brush between. If you'd like to, you definitely should. I had enough, it was enough of a dry brush that I don't have too much blue on here to be mixing the two together. Just gonna kind of make my line there. All the way to my edge. And up here where the blue kind of peters out. If you want to make sure you don't have any blending, you can let these layers dry between. But if you want to make sure, or you want to have a little bit of the blending go through, you can do like I've just done, where I'm just going straight from one color to the next. Corner down here needs some. With the green, I think I might be more likely to go across again after this layer dries. Got a little hill there. There we go. I can definitely see a little bit more of the white of the canvas in there. Your little paint pot should be pretty full of color. You may not need all of it. This is actually the same set of paints that I used when I made my example. So you can see I've got a good amount of color left. So it shouldn't be too bad. If I had another canvas or if I wanted to paint on another surface, I've got some paint left over, and you're definitely more than welcome to give this a try a couple of times. All right, so that's all I need my brush for. I'm gonna go ahead and go clean that brush off. Give this a few moments to kind of dry out before we get ready to start the swab portion of our painting. All right, so I've given my canvas a little bit of time to dry. I've switched out my paper to a different one. You can see it didn't quite have dried by the time I put it down, but now I'm ready to start the next step. So in my example, I did the leaves of the tree first, and then I added in my kind of trunks and where the trees would go. And I do like it, but I feel like it might have gotten a little lost, the branches there. So I think this time around, I'm going to start and add, at the very least, some basic tree trunks before I start doing the leaves and tops of the trees. So for this one, I'm just going to do a little bit of paint right on the end of my paintbrush. We've got these flat ones here, so I can just kind of go up. And a little branch. Another branch there. A real thin one back here. And I'm also going to be able to add branches later once I've gone across these. So I'm not too worried about where I get them on there, because I'll be able to fix them later. Let's see, I had 4 trees the first time. Let's do a tree back here. This guy a little double wide. Maybe he's the closest tree. And we're gonna have a branch that kind of goes off. And do one guy here. All right. Okay, so I've got the base of my trees. I would generally wash my brush off right now, just so I know. And now I'm gonna go into my reds and pinks and a little bit of the white. So we've given you 15 cotton swabs. So you could do the 3 different colors with 5, and then remember, because the cotton swabs have cotton on both ends, you are going to be able to use them twice. So I'm just taking one of my rubber bands and making my little swab painters. You could do more than 5 swabs. You could do less than 5 swabs. I just gave 15, so we've got 3, 5 5 swab packs here for our different colors. That should be all right. And I don't need them to be exactly lined up. It's actually a little bit better if they're kind of wonky. That'll give me better spread when I start doing this. Okay, so because I have a fairly small amount of cotton swabs, I'm going to be able to get right in there. I'm just going to kind of, I don't want to be too heavy on that paint right there. So I'm just going to start, and you see already I've got some bigger parts, so I'm just going to try and move my cotton swabs so they're not really all right together, so I can get those little circles there as I go along. Because I really haven't given my branches too much time to dry here. They might move a little. You need the cotton swabs to be close before I put them in. So I'm just kind of spreading them a little bit. So I got a good spread there. I'm going to come down and I can get some more paint from this paint that I had out before. I'm doing a little less on the darker red because this is, for me, spring trees. So when I switch to the pink, that's the one where I'm really going to want more. And again, I'm just going to kind of take some of that paint off, spread my little guys out, and really just go across. Yeah, see, there we go. And we're starting to look, and I can pull some more back in. Alright. Oh, that's looking awesome. I need more paint. Starting to get my trees there, really fluffy. Oh yeah. And I actually want to add some green leaves. In the spring we have some trees that get some green leaves. Get some green here. Excess paint, get a little excess, a little more excess, so when I come back to them. Alright, again I've got kind of a bunch. I'm just going to spread these guys out around a little and come through with green. And the tops of my trees are very green. And I'm just kind of moving the cotton swabs back and forth. As you see, kind of tilting so that different parts get painted there. Alright, and then the other piece I want is a few fluffy clouds. So let's go for the white. Side is not very. There we go. Alright. A very puffy cloud up here in the corner. And over here. Maybe a little in the back there. Alright, I didn't leave myself very much room with my trees for clouds, so as you plan your design, you may want to keep that in mind. as you add your paint colors. And now that I've got the green, I definitely want to come back over with some more pink, kind of brighten that up in places where I've kind of added a little bit more green. Same with the red. Come back and pop some more reds in there. All right, so we've got our spring trees using the Swab painting technique. These are really fun. So now as I go back through, I can see if there were pieces of my trunk that I want to kind of make bigger. Maybe my tree needs a little base there, so it's a little bit better at standing. Let's get some roots here. If you've got any other paints left over from previous crafts, you could add some accents, or if you've got some black, maybe you put in a burrow in one of these trees, or a bird flying around. There we go. There we go. Now my trees have roots. You could add a little person kind of walking through there with the green here. I can go along my grass to kind of give it some dimension. Maybe some flowers in the grass. Right on here. Or some petals that have fallen at the base of our trees. So you can really kind of go with this. The Swab gives you that dot, but you can also blend very nicely. So it's just a fun little technique that you can use to do some different kinds of painting. We really hope you enjoyed this craft and hope that you show us and share us your pictures of your paintings on social media.